They built their fence 10 feet onto my land, so I built a barn right against it. I've owned my farm for almost 20 years. It's not fancy, but it's mine. 40 acres of pasture, a red barn, and a herd of cattle that pay the bills. My neighbors, the Caldwells, moved in about 2 years ago. Retired city folks with too much money and not enough sense. They bought the land next to mine, tore down the old farmhouse, and built themselves a modern country retreat with glass walls, a swimming pool, and perfectly manicured lawns that didn't belong in this part of Texas. At first we were friendly. They asked about where to buy feed. I lent them my tractor once or twice, and we exchanged pleasantries over the fence. But it didn't take long before they started acting like my land was their playground. Their dogs chased my cattle. Their grandkids cut across my pasture on ATVs. I warned them politely, then firmly. They smiled, nodded, and kept doing it anyway. The last straw came one morning when I walked out to check the fence line and found a brand new cedar fence stretching across part of my pasture. A high, polished thing, all fancy panels and metal posts. Trouble was, it wasn't on the property line. It was a good 10 feet inside my boundary. I grabbed my survey maps just to be sure. No mistake, they built their fence on my land. That evening, I knocked on their door. "There's been a mistake," I said, showing them the survey. "Your fence is over my property line. It'll need to be moved." Mrs. Caldwell crossed her arms, smirked, and said, "We hired professionals. I'm sure it's fine. Besides, you're not really using that strip of land." I bit my tongue and went home, realizing patience would make this more satisfying. The next week, I called the county and filed a formal complaint: trespassing and unlawful encroachment. The inspector came out, confirmed the survey, and sent the Caldwells a notice: move the fence or face fines. They ignored it. So I built something of my own, right against their precious new fence. A barn. Not a rickety shed, but a proper, steel-roofed, wood-sided livestock barn, running the entire length of the property line. I placed the entrance facing away from them, but the backside, well, that pressed tight against their cedar panels. The smell of hay and livestock would reach their windows, and I stocked it with my cattle, making sure they'd be there, morning and night. Within a week, the Caldwells came storming over. "You can't put a barn here," they shouted. I held up the survey and smiled. "On my land, I can put whatever I want." They threatened lawsuits. Too late. I'd already spoken with my lawyer. Not only were they trespassing, but in this county, if someone builds on your land and you let it sit too long, they can actually try to claim it later. It's called adverse possession. By putting my barn there, I'd locked in my rights and cut off theirs. A month later, county hit them with fines. The court ordered them to remove their fence, but by then, it was boxed in by my barn. To take it down, they had to hire workers to dismantle panels from their side, piece by piece, cost them thousands. And me? I didn't move a finger. Now, every morning when I feed my cattle, I tip my hat to that barn, because what started as their attempt to steal a strip of my land turned into the most expensive mistake they ever made. If you like stories where greedy neighbors learn the hard way, subscribe and like.